And so gradable and non-gradable adjectives. So let's start by gradable adjectives. What is a gradable adjective? A gradable adjective can be used with grading adverbs. We use it with grading adverbs, such as very or extremely. To say to say that a thing or person has more or less of a particular quality. So let me clarify this, Hannah. You know, Hannah, gradable adjectives, it's an adjective that you can put it in comparative, you can put it in superlative. Like when I say, for example, hot, you can say hotter, you can say hottest, or the hottest, you can say very hot. So this is a gradable adjective. When I say, for example, comfortable, you can say more comfortable, the most comfortable. Also, if I say tall, you can say taller, you can say the tallest. Uh, so you can what? You can use it in different forms, okay? But what about non-gradable adjectives? Like when I say dead, can you put it in comparative and superlative, Hannah?
No,
Can you say very dead?
no,
You can't. You cannot put it. So in this case, we call it what? We call it non-gradable adjective. Again, we call it non-gradable adjective. Could you say it again?
we call it non-gradable adjective.
Yes, that's right. We call it non-gradable adjective. So, so some adjectives are non-gradable. Let me give you another example. Finished. Finished, it's an adjective. So, can you say a bit finished? Can you say very finished?
No,
No. So, something can't be a bit finished or very finished. You can't be, you, we cannot say a bit dead or very dead. So these adjectives describe absolute qualities, absolute qualities. So if you describe someone, you can say dead or not dead. You cannot very dead. You cannot a bit dead. No, you cannot say that. So how can we make them stronger, Hannah? So with non-gradable adjectives, how can how can we make these adjectives strong if we would like to do it?
can add an adverb to it.
Yeah, that's right. We use an adverb before it. So we use adverb to make them stronger. So we have to use modifiers like what? Like what? Like
Like,
like
you can say,
excuse me, Hannah.
I think we can say he, he quickly finished the homework. No, no, not this.
You can use adverbs like absolutely, totally, or completely. So you can use three adverbs. You can use absolutely, totally, or completely. And I'm going to send you two papers now on your WhatsApp in order to what for two kinds of non-gradable adjectives. So you're going to find them on your WhatsApp. So check your WhatsApp now, please. I have sent them to you. Can you see them?
Yes,
Okay. So the first kind, as you see in these papers, so the first kind of non-gradable adjectives, Hannah, we call it absolute adjectives. We call it what? Hmm.
absolute adjectives.
Yes, we call them absolute adjectives. So absolute adjectives, can you read it, please, Hannah? So can you read absolute, non-gradable absolute adjectives? Can you read it, please? Hmm.
Okay, some adjectives are non-gradable. For example, something can be a bit finished or very, it can be a bit thin or very dense. These adjectives describe absolute qualities, make them stronger, make make them stronger. We have used modifiers like absolutely, totally, or completely.
Yeah, so three modifiers here. We can use three modifiers: totally, absolutely, and completely. So these three modifiers, you can use them with absolute adjectives. Like, look at the first example. Thank you. I love it. It's absolutely perfect. Their farm was totally destroyed. So let me share it. Let me share it with you in order to get a lot of benefits. So I'm going to, okay, I'm going to share it together. Okay. Yes, like so. So for the first part, like what you see in front of you here. So when I say here, uh, thank you, I love it. It's absolutely perfect. So perfect, it's non-gradable adjective. It's absolute adjective. It's absolute adjectives. Okay. So we use here. Absolutely. In order to make it stronger. The second one, their farm, their farm was totally destroyed by a tornado. So where is the modifiers here that we use it to make the absolute adjective stronger, Hannah? Hannah, can you hear me?
So modifiers like absolutely, totally, or complete.
We used here totally. Yeah, the first one absolutely, and in the second example, we used totally here to their farm. We said their farm was totally destroyed. So destroyed here, it's an adjective. We use the totally in order to describe the absolute adjective destroyed. Okay. My work is completely finished. Where is the absolute adjective, Hannah?
Complete.
Completely, it's the modifier, the adverb that we use it to what to make the absolute adjective finished stronger. So finished is absolute adjective. We use the completely here to make the absolute adjective finished stronger. So we said my work is completely finished. Okay.
Okay.
So do you understand, Hannah, the absolute adjective?
Yes.
Absolute adjective, like what you see in front of you here, it's like acceptable. So, when we are discussing something, so acceptable, we call it acceptable or not acceptable. There is no between. Just you accept or you don't accept. There is no other choice. We describe someone dead or not dead, destroyed or not, finished or not, free or not, impossible or not, or impossible or possible, necessary or not necessary, perfect or not perfect. So you understand me, Hannah? So this is the
Yes.
first, yeah, so this is the first kind of absolute adjective. Okay, this is the first kind of non-gradable adjective. We have another one. So let me share the second one. Let me share with you the second one. The second non-gradable adjective, like what you see in front of you, we call it extreme adjective. What is an extreme adjective, Hannah? Adjectives like amazing, awful, boiling are non-gradable. They already contain the idea of very in their definitions. So for adjectives, Hannah, that contains very, we call these adjectives, we call them what? We call them extreme adjectives. We call them extreme what? Adjectives. So all adjectives that contain very, so we call them extreme adjectives, like amazing. What does it mean, amazing, Hannah?
What?
Amazing. What does it mean?
Very good.
Very surprising. Amazing, for example, it means very surprising. Ancient, very old. Awful, very bad. Uh, Enormous, very big. Excellent, very good. Okay? For example, or extremely good, or very good. Exhausted. What does it mean, exhausted? Exhausted, it means very tired. Fascinating. What does it mean, fascinating, Hannah?
Very good.
We can call fascinating, it's extremely interesting and attractive. So we can say very interesting or attractive, very interesting and attractive. Freezing. What does it mean, freezing, Hannah? What does it mean, freezing? Extremely cold or very cold. Okay, very cold. What about gorgeous? What does it mean, gorgeous? Very beautiful. So very beautiful is gorgeous. So gorgeous is very beautiful. Terrible. What about terrible? What does it mean, terrible, Hannah?
Very bad.
Yes, very bad, very unpleasant. Terrifying. What does it mean, terrifying?
Scary.
It means what? Very
Scary.
frightened. Yes. Or we can call it very frightened. Very frightening. So terrifying, it means very frightening. What about tiny? What does it mean, tiny? Hmm?
Odd.
Very small in size or amount. So tiny, very small in size or amount. So for those adjectives here, so for those adjectives, we call them first, we call them absolute. Why we call, why we call them extreme adjective? Because all these adjectives are containing very, are containing what? Very. So these adjectives contain the idea of very in their definition. So if we want to make extreme adjectives stronger, how, Hannah? How can we make extreme adjectives stronger?
By putting uh by putting two verbs in sentence.
Here we have to use absolutely and really. So for extreme adjectives, to make them stronger, we have to use two adverbs, absolutely or rarely. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Hannah. طب can we put them in comparative? Hannah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, طيب how can how can we make these adjectives strong? By what? By using what? How can we make extreme adjectives strong?
We add very, very good letter.
Yes. So are extreme adjectives gradable or non-gradable?
Non-gradable.
Yes, non-gradable. So look at these examples here. So all these adjectives, as I told you, they are non-gradable adjectives. They are non-gradable adjectives, and in order to make them strong, we use the modifiers absolutely or really. Now do you understand both kinds of non-gradable adjectives? So now, Hannah, could you tell me? So could you tell me here what do you understand about gradable and non-gradable adjectives?
Non-gradable adjective.
Yes. Your voice is too far, Hannah.
They can
I don't know why.
have a word.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's better than before. Yes, now it's far more better than before. Hmm. Yes. Tell me, what do you
I'm saying that
understand? Yes.
okay, non-gradable words are words that uh, are words that don't
Hmm.
have an adverb with them.
Uh, okay, so we could say here, non-gradable adjectives are two kinds of adjectives. The first one is absolute adjective. And what do we mean by absolute adjective? It's adjective that uh, so they are adjectives that describe absolute qualities. What do I mean by absolute qualities? I mean that for example, for an adjective like finished, so I cannot say very finished or a bit finished. No, it's finished. So how can I make an adjective like this? How can I make it stronger in this case? We could use an adverb before it to make it stronger. So I can use adverb before it to make it what stronger. The second kind of non-gradable adjective is extreme adjectives. What do I mean by extreme adjectives? It's they are adjectives that contain very, like amazing, like ancient, like awful, like boiling, like delicious.